The best long-lasting alternatives to popular but weak fragrances. We all have our favorite scents that we just know lasts way too shortly, and we don't want to get a decant and carry it around with us, and we can't even be bothered to reapply throughout the day. So we get sick and tired of our short-lasting, weak designer scent. Usually designer, aren't they? Let's face it. And, you know, I kind of understand people who are like that. They just get sick and tired of weak fragrances. They kind of feel like it's not an excuse in this competitive industry of fragrances that we have today. And so they kind of get tired and want to move on to a longer-lasting alternative of this fragrance. So I'm not going to give you guys clones in this video today. I'm going to give you 8 different alternatives that are different but have a similar vibe, and I would think if you enjoy the shorter lasting fragrance, you'll probably enjoy the longer lasting one also. Maybe you'll agree or disagree, but either way, let's begin. We got to start the video with Dolce&Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum. This is a classic weak fragrance. A lot of people get annoyed by how beautiful this smells. Balanced ginger, tobacco, amber perfumery. That's masculine, very easy to love, natural, but a lot of people say they get 4 hours with this. I actually get around over 6 hours with this fragrance. I think it's very handsome. It's a very safe beginner day-night scent. But hey, let's say you want to upgrade to something longer lasting. My suggestion would be Maison France's Kurkdjian's Grand Soir, which is a very safe but easy to love date night amber scent also. It's more simple actually than the one Eau de Parfum. There's less going on, but it smells more expensive. It's just a very nice amber accord basically going throughout. It's a little bit spicy and warm. I think there's a bit of cinnamon in there. It's smoothed out amber that just smells masculine and very handsome. If you want a very safe, longer lasting, let's say 10 hours with a medium projecting kind of fragrance, it's probably one of the best from MFK. I think that's a great alternative to the one Eau de Parfum. Again, they're not clones, but it's a similar vibe. Do you agree or disagree? Jean-Paul Gaultier Le Male, the original. Now we all know this fragrance used to be a beast back in the 90s, and then apparently it was the 2011 reformulation where this fragrance became a clubbing fragrance and went down to a date night fragrance. It became a lot more intimate. This is more of a soft and medium projecting fragrance now in my experience, lasting around 6 hours. It's still a beautiful fragrance. It's a classic. It smells a little bit 90s-esque, but I think you can still easily rock it today. I still think it stands the test of time. But hey, if you want that beastly performance to return, you want something that's an alternative, a bit more modern actually, and it's just a much better performing fragrance, go for Gucci Guilty Elixir, the new release. I don't actually like the Gucci Guilty line, but luckily this Elixir flanker has nothing to do with the majority of them. It is dense, sweet, vanillic perfumery. It has that vanilla kind of base that Le Male has. They're both a little bit balanced still, they're both a bit playful. And Guilty Elixir kind of feels like it was inspired by the legend of Le Male, but it's its own fragrance overall. It's very sweet, dense, vanilla, woody, a bit fuzzy, and it's kind of simple. That's kind of it. It doesn't have the complexities of Le Male, but it's definitely a better performing fragrance. 12 hours, long lasting with a medium projection. I think you can wear it to the club. I think it's a very beautiful fragrance. I think you can wear it as a cold weather signature in general, so daytime and nighttime. I think it's a great alternative. Try it out. 32% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys want to see our channel grow, to really help us out, click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. Bleu de Chanel. Again, a lot of people say they only get like 2 hours of this fragrance. I just don't believe it personally. I've always thought that all the concentrations of Bleu de Chanel get me at least 6 hours. But hey, maybe some people go nose blind, or sometimes it just doesn't work on people's skin. Hey, for me personally, I don't think this is a short-lasting fragrance, but if you do see that, you know, if you do think that that is the case, that's your experience, go and try the Parfum. That's the longest lasting fragrance out of them all, in my experience. I get 12 hours of that fragrance. Or if you want an alternative to the usual Eau de Parfum choice that people go for Arabian Oud Signature. This is also an Eau de Parfum, but instead of lasting 8 hours, in my experience, I get 12 hours of this fragrance, medium projection. 2 to 3 sprays is all I need of this fragrance. Get a 50 ml. A lot of people say, oh, this brand is too expensive, but 50 ml, it's such a strong brand that it actually lasts a lot more than 100 ml will from most designer releases. It is a similar blue vibe to Bleu de Chanel, but not a clone. It has some citruses up top, some amber in here, cardamom, some ambroxan that makes it really last. So this is sort of like It took the ambroxan longevity of Sauvage but made it less annoying. I think the ambroxan here is very smooth, very attractive. It's a very smooth, attractive ambroxan scent, kind of mixed with a Bleu de Chanel feel, but it's Middle Eastern smelling at the same time. So it's sort of like a Middle Eastern smelling blue signature scent, as the name suggests. So yeah, check out Arabian Oud, get a 50 ml of this if you want to try it out. It's beautiful. Dior Homme Cologne. Now, this is a fragrance that's difficult to get a longer lasting alternative to. One that actually used to exist was Mercedes-Benz cologne, but like the light blue bottle that used to exist, but that's been discontinued. So this fragrance gives me about 4 hours. It smells like a pure top note fragrance, all lemon. It smells like a fresh, refreshing lemonade fragrance essentially. And Mercedes-Benz cologne kind of focused a little more on the woods to make it long lasting. It made it about 6 to 8 hours longevity, really good clone. But nowadays, you know, it's such a light and refreshing DNA that even the alternative, which is Allure Homme Sport Cologne, even that fragrance isn't too much longer lasting because it's still a refreshing fragrance. I feel like they're definitely comparable, these two fragrances, in the flankers of the two big brands. Allure Homme Sport Cologne, again, is a photorealistic citrus fragrance with more white florals, musk, and some more woods in here. So it's more of a complete fragrance, whilst this is more of a simple, all lemonade smelling kind of scent. So if you want a more complex fragrance that has a very similar vibe to this, still light and refreshing, a fantastic gym fragrance, definitely deserves a sport name, go for Allure Homme Sport Cologne. It lasts about 4 to 6 hours, whilst this lasts 4 hours. So they're both great scents either way. So try out Allure Homme Sport Cologne if it appeals to you. Montblanc Legend Spirit. Musky, bubblegum, aquatic perfumery. That is a replica of Aqua 2016 by Invictus. That is discontinued, but also kind of came back recently. I'm not sure if the new release is the same as the old 2016 version, but a lot of people say they only get like 4 hours of this flanker. It's a cheap fragrance. I think it's great value. I actually get more than 6 hours of this fragrance. I actually think it's really good value, this flanker here of Montblanc Legend Spirit. But hey, if you want a longer lasting alternative, just go for Versace Hawas or Versace Hawas Ice, either of the two. That's a similar idea. A lot of people say this was the clone of Aqua 2016, but this came out in 2015, so that doesn't make sense. It is not a clone of Aqua 2016. I think it's its own fragrance. It definitely has more of an inspiration from the original Invictus rather than Aqua 2016. So yes, if you want a alternative, that again is a fresh, aquatic, much longer lasting, 10 to 12 hours. This is the fragrance for you. Big compliment factor as well. You can kind of, you know, let's say you start off with a cheap release of Legend Spirit and you want to upgrade to, when you have a bit more money, go for Hawas instead. Versace Pour Homme. Very classical, everyday, warm weather scent. Musky, bright, aquatic. Citrus perfumery here with the neroli in here as well. Very clean, classical, masculine. It is an Alberto Marias classic. It's very safe, extremely safe, but it doesn't last that long for a lot of people. For me, I get maybe 6 hours, let's say. I overspray with this fragrance. I can go up to 8 sprays with this, and 6 to 8 sprays. But hey, if you don't like that aspect of it, you can go for this fragrance instead. Aqua Parfum, which is a similar style because it is the same perfumer. Alberto Marias also made the Aqua line, and the Parfum concentration, in my opinion, is the best version currently right now. It recreates Essenza, which was the best version, in my opinion. That was discontinued, it kind of came back here now. This lasts 12 hours with a medium projection, still a very handsome, sexy DNA that won our public reaction video when it was involved. And that video also had Mr. Maritime in there. Actually, I think Mr. Maritime, our fragrance from Atrium, could also be an alternative to Versace Pour Homme as well, for a longer lasting aquatic that is more tropical, has the more focus of on the mango notes, of course, in our fragrance, but also bear in mind Mr. Radiance, our upcoming next release, when that becomes available to pre-order at the end of May. From the recording of this video, know that Mr. Maritime will then be taken off the website, and then it'll be Mr. Radiance, which is our summertime release. But hey, yeah, if you want an alternative to Versace Pour Homme, go for Mr. Maritime or go for Aqua Parfum. Again, very similar style, safe aquatic perfumery made by the master Alberto Marias. And lastly, YSL's L'Homme, the original. I'll also put La Nuit de L'Homme, the original, here as well. So both of these are very handsome, beautifully crafted perfumes. I think Dominique Ropillon actually made both of these scents. And unfortunately, from what I have, I think it's true that both of them got heavily reformulated. I think they're both longer lasting fragrances. L'Homme, the original, is soapy, clean, ginger, warm, woody ambers, whilst La Nuit de L'Homme is cardamom, more nighttime suited, warm, woody ambers. Both very balanced, both very handsome and sexy. And there's no two ways going about it. You have to get this basically. Go for La Nuit de L'Homme Bleu Electric. It is a longer lasting version of La Nuit de L'Homme, but can also be used in the daytime. So it kind of helps replace both L'Homme and La Nuit de L'Homme. It's very handsome, sexy. a more freshened up, more citrus focused cardamom woody amber flanker of the original Nuit de L'Homme, but it's a very similar scent overall. It's very similar. And I basically just think, yeah, if you want a longer lasting, more rejuvenated flanker, get this. I know it's tricky in some places. I don't think this is discontinued. I can't see that it is discontinued from what I can tell. Try to get this. This lasts 6 to 8 hours on my skin with a medium projection. It's very handsome. I think this is a very sexy signature to wear most of the year round. And that concludes this video, guys. What are your thoughts on weak performing fragrances? Are they something that you just don't entertain? You don't care about reapplying and using moisturizer, etc., using all those hacks? Do you just say, okay, forget it, I'm gonna go find a longer lasting alternative? If you have found longer lasting alternatives to your favorite weak performing fragrances, let us know in the comments down below, guys, what those alternatives are. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our previous video on beast mode fragrances. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.